In this episode, I get on the ferry back to the North Island. I ride past a volcano. I check out New Zealand's most famous surf break. I find some more awesome tracks and end up in a tunnel. I rode out and made my way to the ferry terminal.
Yes. Well, that's easier.
Yeah, you can leave your gloves on.
Thanks.
It's cold.
It's a little cold, isn't it? Yeah.
Hang on to that one.
Yeah.
And if you go straight ahead and then at the end of
I followed the instructions and headed to the right lane to wait for them to start boarding the boat. These ferries are so big, it's like riding into a massive shopping centre underground car park. I tied my bike down with the straps that were hanging on the wall. One of them being just a rope. With the bike strapped down, I made my way up to the passenger deck and headed to the front of the boat as it started to leave the port of Picton. We moved through the Sound as the sun rose. That is the South Island, and that there is the North Island, so it's not too far between. The ferry pulled into the port of Wellington, so I went back down to the bike, which probably needs a clean. I rode off the ferry and onto the North Island. I made my way through the port of Hamilton back onto the main highway. Like most highways, great roads for covering some distance, but not really spectacular views. Just pulled over to work out where to go next. Ferry ride was good. It was cold waiting around for it with the early start, but all good. Wasn't rough at all, so that's always a bonus. There's only one other bike on the ferry, so I think I'm going to head towards stick to the coast. I've been in a lot of mountains, so I thought I may as well try some beaches or just scenery. And there is a volcano I can go either side of, but if I stay on the beach side, by the time the sun's that way, it'll probably look better for a photo. I don't know if I'll get that right or not. But tomorrow, I think I found some more dirt. So I'll just keep going north as far as I can until I feel tired and try and find somewhere to stay. That's the plan. Just pulled over to stretch the legs a bit. I've been going for a few hours, so I thought I'd take a break and then probably just under a couple more to go. But there's a really good view of the volcano. It's doing what volcanoes do and have their own atmosphere and clouds above them. It is a lot colder. It's like winter just hit. So trying to keep rugged up and keep everything tight. Anyway, so got a decision to go around the left or the right. I went another 3 kilometres down the road and then it all opened up and got a really good view of the volcano. even the top was popping out. So I might actually go back the other way, because this way I'm going to be so close I'll never get it in the frame with the lenses I've got. And the other way is about 15 minutes quicker. You could see where the vegetation ended halfway up the side of the volcano, with the colour changing from green to brown. And it was cool how just the top of the volcano poked through the clouds. So today was really a transit day. I was just trying to get as far north as I could, so tomorrow I can spend time, because I've found some dirt trails further up towards Raglan. And Raglan is probably New Zealand's most famous surf spot. So the further I get up, the more time I can have tomorrow riding through there and having a look around at Raglan's. So I'm going to keep pushing on to there. I rode through the countryside, passing farms and the occasional town. I wound my way up over a small mountain range. I made it to the small town of Volcano, where they had a place I could camp. This looked like a good camping spot, but there were tyre tracks in the grass, so maybe not so great. Well, that was a longish day. It's about 12 hours. Now I found somewhere to obviously camp. I'm going to put up the tent, and there's a river or beach out just there, so I might check that out before the sun goes down. Tent time. Going to be a slight change of plans. My tent's soaked. I'm putting it in the sun, and they're going to move the car so I can be out of the wind. So that's cool. Going to see this river. Apparently this is the surf coast. Well, the sign said that anyway. Not sure if there's any here or if there's even any swell. Made it to the little lookout. I gather in spring, rivers like this would be full. Absolutely chockers. Right now, and the fact they've had not a lot of rain, she's pretty sparse, we'll say that is. There is surf, but the wind's on it, it's just blown out mess. And you can see the volcano in the distance. I'm a little tired. I guess it's the biggest day I've done on this trip. It's not really a big day compared to Australia, but yeah, feeling it. So as I mentioned, tomorrow, going to get to Raglan's, but not by the main road. It looks like there's a lot of these back roads that sort of meander along the coastline. I gather they're gravel roads. I have no idea. I'm going to wing it. So I think I'm just going to go back to camp, move that tent, hopefully it's dry, and pass out. It's about where I'm feeling right now. Finally got the tent sorted, dried off, and brought it up here out of the wind that's kind of died off. So tomorrow we're going to see if we can find some dirt tracks, make our way to Raglan. Hopefully there's some surf. Not too good, or I'll be really disappointed I don't have a board. Later. Morning. It's an early start because I've got about 200 kilometres to get to Raglan's, and it's very windy. I'm not sure if it's dirt or tarmac, so it's going to take me a while. Also, I have to get to Auckland, I have to clean the bike, drop the bike off, and then get to the airport. So, last day of fun in New Zealand. So I better get packed up and get on the road. Should be sunlight by the time I get moving. Might be the last night in that tent forever. It's been good 9 years. I rode out. I thought I'd just do a surf check before I left the town. Well, not a lot happening out the front. I turned off the main coastal highway and headed into early morning fog. The west of the North Island was the same as the west of the South Island, lush and green, even without the effects of the Southern Alps. I saw a side road that looked like it might get to the beach, so I thought I'd check it out. I found myself in a lush green little valley, riding beside a small little river. The track got narrower as it started snaking its way along the base of the hill. Then I came to what looked like a handmade tunnel. I parked my bike and walked into the tunnel. How's this random tunnel? I was going to take the bike down, but it is really slippery. And I'm not sure if you're allowed to. And it sounds like there's surf at the end of it. Oh. Well, there is a wave. There's a little left. It's not big, I just don't know what the conditions are like today. If it's a good day or a bad day, or I think there's a wave out the back. It's rideable, but just not that great today. How is this cliff? What a way to get to the beach through a tunnel. What a random find. The tunnel was made in 1911 by 3 men armed with only picks and shovels. It was constructed so cattle could be driven to other pastures. The farm is very hilly, and it was easier to drive cattle along the beach than across the rough terrain. I headed back out. I then got back onto the main track, heading north as the sun made its way high enough to cast light into the valley and try to warm things up. I pulled up to get a better look at how lumpy this landscape was. No wonder they built the tunnel for the cattle. And again, looking towards the ocean, there is no flat land. was a really cool section to ride. I thought there was more dirt, but looking at the time, it was probably good it wasn't all dirt, or I'd still be there for a few more hours, I think. I kept stopping for photos. It was, yeah, awesome. That tunnel was cool too. So it was about 120k here. There's probably 70k left. I'm not sure what that next road's like, or track, to Raglan. So that's where I'm trying to get to. It's a little windy towards the end of that, so I'm not sure, maybe an hour, maybe two. It's funny, as I came in, all those bikes along the fences. Something different. Well, this is a chicken and fuel stop, so I'm going to sample some of their chicken and then get back on the road. If it looks greasy, it is. But it is yummy. I turned off onto another dirt track that looked like it would take me to the coast. I rode through more of this lumpy landscape, following the river that made the flattest path through these hills. Finally, I had reached the coast again. Up to check out a lookout. So roughly, home is somewhere that way, I think. Oh, a little bit further and we'll be at Raglan's. What an epic trail. I turned into the car park for the main surf break. And well, the car park was pretty full. There was a wave on, and it was protected from the wind somewhat. Well, compared to further around on the outside where I stopped at the cliff top. Well, I finally made it to Raglan's surf break. Along the left-hand point, protected by that wind. It's not huge today, but it looks fun. There's a lot of people out, but that's normal with any of these popular breaks. It is the most well-known break in New Zealand. Not saying it's the best, but it is a good break. And that was really the last thing I wanted to check out on the coast. So head inland a bit, probably through Hamilton and straight up to Auckland, where I've got to give the bike back. I've got to clean it first, so a little bit to go, and then it'll be the end. It's a little sad, isn't it? Oh well, let's get this last bit done. I left everybody to have fun in the surf. But I couldn't help check out one more wave. rode into Hamilton and found the nearest car wash. I gave the bike a good scrubbing. And also the panniers, as I didn't want to get into trouble while going through quarantine at the other end back in Australia. The bike scrubbed up like new. I got back on the road and headed north. Then I rode into a section of highway that was covered in fog, which seemed very strange. As I came to the end of another amazing adventure, I couldn't help but think back to the places I'd gotten to explore. I'm not sure which was my favourite camp spot, maybe one of the ones on the beach, or maybe on the lakes. Trails? Well, Wild Skipper Road was amazing to look at, along with the road to French Pass. I think the section of track that went along the side of the Macaulay River was the most fun. For jaw-dropping scenery, I don't think you can go past riding into Milford Sounds. But the second part of the Rainbow Road or Molesworth Station, if it wasn't raining, might be close. It was also amazing to be able to ride on most of these tracks and not come across anyone, besides the occasional farmer or fisherman. And to ride with a couple of locals was a lot of fun too, getting to see their local trails. I had made it to Auckland, where I would drop off the bike, then head to the airport. And you can probably guess what I was thinking. Where should I go and explore next? Well, if you're still here, thanks for watching right to the end. As you probably know, it does help. And thank you to New Zealand. What an amazing place to explore. Also, all the New Zealanders from Rowan, Penny, James, Dylan, Phil, the fisherman, the farmer. New Zealanders are just really good people. Also, thank you to Royal Enfield for letting me borrow the Scram 411. And on that, I'm going to do a review on it because a lot of people ask what the difference between that and the Himalayan is like. And due to the fact I only could take 23 kilos because I flew there, the baggage allowance, I'm going to do a review on the gear I took, as you know, it was a lot further stripped back than what I did in Australia. And seeing it's the end of another series, I couldn't help myself and made another poster. So if you're interested, it's going to be on the online store. Here's a photo out in the sunlight so you can actually get a better look at it. Thank you to all the people who have sent in super likes on YouTube. That still blows me away. I also have the fuel support on the website, which people have kindly donated. I try to keep these trips pretty lean, so it enables me to get to the next trip sooner. So your support is a massive help. And for all those people who have sent in fuel supports, hopefully you've received a little thank you in the post. Talking about what's next, well, there's two possibilities. I'm still trying to work out which one I can make happen. I'll give you a hint to one of them. It's probably the least likely one to happen, but anyway, the bike is connected to the ground. Hopefully that's not too easy. Again, thank you for your support. I hope you're out there exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.